Welcome back. You're watching My Community on My 45. I'm your host, Gabriel Alvarez. For our next segment, we have two new guests. We have Marco and we have Krista. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Marco, so can you share a little bit of what you do and how long you've been doing it?
Yeah, I'm in the real estate industry, and I'm a real estate broker. I've been licensed as a real estate agent for 12 years and as a real estate broker for about 7 years now.
Wow, so you got a lot of experience.
I'd like to think so, yes.
Right. And Krista?
My name is Christa Martinez, branch manager of residential Bancorp, and I've been in the mortgage industry for about 13 years.
Awesome. So the housing market kind of goes up and down and so forth, and there are people who are interested either buying or selling a home. At this point in time, is it a good time to buy, a good time to sell?
Well, real estate does go up and down, and ultimately in the long run, it's always good to buy. So when people ask, is it a good time to buy or sell? It really, the question is it a buyer's market or is it a seller's market? Right now, we just got out of a interesting market because it was still recovering from the crash that happened, as we know, back in 2007, 2008.
Right.
So right now, as far as the forecasts are showing, with Trump being elected, the economy looks like it's going to be a strong economy in 2017 and forward. I would say it is a good time to buy.
Good time to buy. So it would be a buyer's market.
Well, it's still not a seller's market.
Okay.
So it's still it's still not a buyer's market.
Okay.
It's still a seller's market.
Okay.
But it's transitioning into a buyer's market.
Okay. So are the interest rates, are they rising or how are they now?
Yeah, currently, after the election, interest rates began to rise. Although they were low for several years, they had gone up to probably about the mid 4s, dropped real low into the low 3s over the last maybe couple of years. Right now, you're looking in between 3.875 to 4.5%, depending credit. There's a lot of factors involved there. But if we look at history, they're still great. The rates are great, and definitely affordable payments are out there.
Okay, and so sometimes when you're driving around, you see some signs where it says for sale by owner. There's people they're trying to sell and they're trying to do it themselves. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Well, there's pros and cons to both, to either for sale by owner or hiring a real estate agent. In my opinion, not because I'm in the real estate industry, but there are more cons than pros that goes into for sale by owner. There's a lot of liability that, believe it or not, sellers have. There's a lot of disclosures that they are held liable to disclose. For example, one disclosure, which it's really, a lot of people find it interesting, is if there's been a death inside of the property within the last 3 years, you by law are supposed to disclose that to a potential buyer. Wow. So there's a lot of things that go into opening escrow, dealing with inspectors, dealing with negotiating prices, and just a lot that entails a real estate transaction.
So when you go through all the transactions and so forth, there's basically a realtor's commission. Does that go towards the buyer or to the seller?
The realtor's commission is normally paid most of the time by the seller. So if you want to sell a house, then you're the one that calls, you interview real estate agents, and you're the one that hires one to sell your house. And a lot of people don't know this, but as a buyer, you do not pay realtor's commission, right? So it's almost like you want to interview real estate agents and hire one without paying for them, because the seller is going to pay that realtor's commission.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's good to know. I'm sure there's all kinds of different types of loans. What are the best loans, or what are some of the loans maybe to stay away from?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, because the truth of the matter is that there is a lot of different loans, but it's what is good for that particular borrower individually. You have loans that if they've saved their money, okay, great. There's ways to eliminate that mortgage insurance.
Now, is there opportunities where maybe somebody looking to buy a house, they don't need a large down payment, or how would that work?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different programs out there. I can mention, there's CalHFA, there's some grant programs out there. We also have a program, which is the Humankind Service Program, that is catered to service industry individuals like police officers, firefighters, nurses. Definitely can contact us for more information. But there's so many different programs. They could come in as, we've had borrowers come in as low as $500. Of course, they're qualifying programs, income qualifying programs. But again, sitting down with a mortgage consultant would absolutely help them find those options.
Great. Marco, if somebody's wanting to sell their house, how can they up their value of their house? Depending, of course, every situation is different.
Right.
But what are some of the basic things that people look for so they can up the value and get the best value for their house?
That is a really good question, Gabriel, and it's one that is very misinterpreted. So when you talk about upping the value of a property, when an appraiser goes out to appraise a home, he doesn't necessarily look at, well, you've got great planters, you've got great granite, your colors are, he doesn't really up the value on that per se, but what it does do, he does adjustments, right? If you have a granite instead of tile countertops, if you have good paint rather than old worn out paint, but what it does do is it entices the buyer to offer more for your house, and that's how you get the value to go up. So if you have a house where the carpet is worn out, the paint is dirty, then you want to make sure that it's a clean feel when you come in. Put new carpet, paint the house. Granted, that's a big investment that I don't think you're going to get the dollars for return.
Okay.
But you want to make sure the house is clean, new paint, new carpet, things like that.
So it's good to put a little bit of an investment in your house so
Right.
you can get more of a value for it.
Correct. Yeah.
I wish we had more time to talk more about housing and the financial part. Where can I get more information?
Well, we are with Selling Bakersfield, and our website is sellingbakersfield.com. Our phone number is 844-661-SELL. That's 844-661-7355. That's how you can get a hold of us.
And we are with Residential Bancorp. You can reach us at 661-437-3655, or you can email me directly with any questions at krista.martinez@bancorp.com.
Thank you guys for being on the show here today.
Thank you for having us. This was an
Thank
awesome
you.
opportunity.
And thank you guys for tuning in. This is My Community on My 45. Until next time.